name is Sharon Green, and we're here this morning with one of our most inspiring authors, Mr. Carl Alexander. Mr. Alexander, it is so good to see you this morning. How are you doing?
Pretty good. My friends also call me Baruti, which is my writing name it's at the beginning of my book, and that means teacher in Kiswahili.
Oh, that is so cool to know. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is that this is not your first book.
True.
You've been an author for quite a long time. What inspired you to become an author?
I mean, if I was going to say anything, I had to do it by writing because I was so shy. Early on, I was so shy that I couldn't get words out, express words, so I had to write. It was a part of my being and my expression. So that was the way that I could communicate, even to myself, especially to other people. But I had to write, and that was really my only way of having an expression, something to say to the world.
That's awesome. I know that also you're a teacher.
Yes.
So I know that writing also plays a part in your life daily, doesn't it?
Always. It's a normal part of my expression. Over years, certainly I have learned how to express myself through verbal words. But that took a long time. I can remember when I was in Prairie View and I tried to speak at a poetry conference, and I had so much, I was just stuttering the whole way. You know, like the people you see, I couldn't even speak. So it's been a long progression.
So you say writing also helped you with your speaking?
It did. It did. It did. It gave me confidence that I had something to say, first of all. And it gave me confidence that my words could have some impact. And so I had to develop that. And I felt I did have a good voice. And it comes from my father also, the Honorable Raymond Alexander, who was a teacher also. And he was a lifetime educator and a good speaker also. So all of that helped to develop who I became as a writer and as a teacher.
Well, you know, I know a little bit about you, but I also want to know, with all your books, what inspired you to start to write them?
Expression to get my words out, to get my feelings out, to be able to say something. I mean, when you have all that impacted in your spirit, either you get it out or you go crazy. So instead of going crazy, I remember, I think it was Ayana Van Sant. She said, writing is my therapy. Writing is my therapy. So writing is my therapy also.
I can understand that. Me being a teacher also, I know that like English is my passion. So I know that when you get into your passion, you begin to flow. So that's what's going on with your writing, right?
It does, and it covers all aspects of my life, religion, what I feel about God, of course what I feel about being black, what I feel about my relationships, what I feel about my kids. You know, I wrote an article one time called The Maddening and the Mighty, just about dealing with my kids on a daily basis and then having to go to the courtroom on that same day, and how everything interpacted, and it was just a crazy day, called The Maddening and the Mighty, and it was a very interesting article. So I write about anything and everything, you know, all aspects of my life and how they affect me and help me get through the day with my writing. I write letters to God also. Well,
that's awesome. You know, I like to write to God too, because you get to say things that is in the heart, how you feel. And you just be pleased with what you put on paper. But I'm glad to hear that. But you're also a single father too, right?
I'm a single father of 3 kids.
So on top of that, you find time to write.
I do, but it comes in the normal aspect of living and breathing. You know, it's not like I got to stop and do something. If I have a thought, I might just write something. But now that we got smartphones, I'll type it into my smartphone, and I find ways to write all the time. It just comes, normal part of living.
Oh, you know what? I agree with that, especially when God gives you something. It's so easy to write it because He gives you the words, and really it is all His. You just the instrument that He's using at that time. So I understand how that flows, especially when you teach. I think teaching is a passion, writing is a passion, but whatever you do that makes you happy, it shows forth in the work that they do. But what I really want to talk about is that when I looked at your book, I was so fascinated with the cover. And it's Obama, the extraterrestrial.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what really got my attention was the different phases.
Time.
Okay.
Time. Hit it.